Am I the butthole for ruining my child's gender reveal? Myself, 27 male, and my wife, 27 female, are having a boy. We already have a girl who is now 2. My wife is really into films, Oscar-type films, and she is like an analyzer when watching them, so she wanted to make a gender reveal short film, 10 minutes long, to say we're having a girl. Kind of weird, but I went along with it. We posted it and she was super happy with it, but it cost so much. She hired expensive cameras. We drove out to scenic areas for the right shot. I'm working full-time during this process. Exhausting. So we just found out that we're having a boy and she started writing a script. I thought there's no effing way I'm doing that again, so I posted on Facebook we're having a boy. She's pissed at me, telling me to delete it, but the damage is done. I don't feel bad. I saved us at least £4,000. What I don't get it, why she's just making films about gender reveals. She can write a script about anything and not be on a strict 6 to 7 month time limit. NTA, maybe not a popular opinion, but $4,000 is ridiculous, and so are gender reveals in general. I'm going to have to side with you on this one. Kids are becoming treated like gods or something. I don't understand the whole thing of having a big party to announce the gender of baby. Especially when that baby may grow up and decide that they're the wrong gender or species. Smiley face. Not the butthole. I actually think what you did is kind of funny. Good for you. I had 2 babies and made phone calls when I learned their genders. Imagine that? Calling the people who need to know and not making it a red carpet event. What a concept. We didn't even find out the gender of our only before he was born. One of the last surprises in this world. We enjoyed it immensely. I'm super impressed with people who can wait for the surprise. I couldn't wait to know. I paid extra money for the sneak peek to find out at like 10 weeks or some crap. I was not waiting any longer than I had to. What? Why do you have to pay extra to find out? Because it's a blood test that's not necessary. My husband and I did the test because it also checks for chromosomal abnormalities. Same. I had my first baby at 38, so I felt it was really important to me to do any testing that was available for issues that may arise. But because of my age, my testing was covered under my insurance, so I was really lucky. Not that the testing really made any difference. If my baby had had anything that wasn't going to threaten his life, I was still going to have him. I just wanted to be able to prepare for the possibility of him being special needs. The fact that they were able to tell me I was having a boy was just a nice bonus, but it was still more exciting seeing him on the monitor. Edit. It was brought up that when I said my son was perfect, that I was possibly making it seem as if children with special needs are not perfect, and I am so sorry that that's how I came across. I removed my perfect part of my comment, but still wanted to drop this apology in here because that was rude as F of me. Every child is perfect. Every child has something awesome to give to the world. Hey, you probably didn't mean it this way, but special needs kids are perfect to their parents, as well. My kiddo is 18, and I'd honestly struggle if a magic wand could take all her issues away, but couldn't guarantee her personality would remain unchanged. She is who she is today because of her special needs, and I couldn't love her more. Because it's a blood test that's not regularly done. I guess. We found out the gender of our first baby, who is almost 7 years old now, but we have just had another in Sept 2020. Because of COVID, I wasn't allowed in the hospital when my partner had her scan, so we waited to find out at the birth. It was a very special moment not knowing what was going to pop out. I bet it was a baby. Haha. First words after my baby was born: oh my god, it's a baby. I still laugh at myself for that one. Second was, is it still a boy? We had found out the gender but not told anyone. FYI, it's still a boy, so far, smiley face. I just had a baby about 2 weeks ago. When the nurse asked us what we're having, my husband said, hopefully a human baby. AITA, yes, it was a human baby boy. In case you were wondering. I suck at surprises and hate waiting, so we also found out. Kudos for your self-control. We also didn't have a lot of money, so knowing the gender made it possible for hand-me-downs from my sister, which was a huge help. I think everyone sucks here, the wife for blatantly spending so much money for a ridiculous reason, but also original poster should have had the conversation with his wife first about the time and money concerns involved in her plans. If she continued to ignore his opinion, then he would have been justified, but should always start with conversation. Knowing the gender made it possible for hand-me-downs from my sister, which was a huge help. Nothing bad actually happens if a boy wears pink or a girl wears blue. One of my favorite shirts that our daughter had when she was about 2 came from the boys' department. It had a dragon on the front, flames on the sleeves, and she looked adorably badass. Agreed. Now, unfortunately, 15 years ago, I wasn't as open-minded. I'm pregnant now and we know the gender, but we're not telling anyone because we don't want their crafty opinions on names. We also waited for both our children to find out what they were. My wife is now expecting twins and we have found out this time, for practicality, but are refusing to tell anyone. Not finding out is definitely more fun. I'm an elder millennial. My gender was revealed when I was born, lol. My dad called both sets of grandparents from a payphone and they did the revealing to everyone else. I'm from a small town. Before the mid-late 90s, women only got ultrasounds if they were high risk. It wasn't a routine thing. With my first, we waited to find out. Had names picked out either way? I will never forget saying to my then wife, "Meet boy named Sweetie." Wouldn't trade that moment for anything. We did find out the sex of our second though, so we could decide how much boy crap to keep or give away. Oh, you mean we don't have to start giant fires to let the world know we are having a boy or girl, just like everyone else, who would think? The damage people have caused by using pyrotechnics to announce the gender of their children is truly enraging. One estimate on a quick Google search placed the damages from that at $100 billion. 0.5% of the yearly GDP of the entire USA. It's just so effing much it boggles the mind. If there's one thing we've learned in the past 5 years, it's that many people don't give a crap about anyone but themselves. I'm pretty sure gender reveal parties are just excuses to have parties. I'm sure it is now, but originally, they were started by a woman who'd had a hard time getting/staying pregnant, so it was a celebration of the fact that she'd made it to that point. My parents called my grandparents a few days before I was born and said they got it, kind of different in my language but the closest translation that makes sense. My grandparents were so happy and asked what is it and he just said it's a Peugeot. His first dad joke before actually being a dad. Most people I know keep the gender of the baby a secret, or they just happen to tell people when they speak to them and that's it. That's what we did. We told people if they asked but we didn't make any announcement, and there's no effing way we would have a gender reveal party, no offense, but they seem horribly tacky. Why do I feel like this joke transphobic and not actually an attempt to be inclusive of other kin? It was going okay up to the species part. Then it was clearly not meant to be inclusive. I'm going to have to side with you on this one. Kids are becoming treated like God's props or something. I don't understand the whole thing of having a big party to announce the gender of baby. Especially when that baby may grow up and decide that they're the wrong gender or species. Smiley face, FTFY. The only gender reveal I like is the idea of a party to announce that someone has come out as trans or non-binary. Those are brilliant. I read about a mom and dad who did one of those birth announcements in the newspaper for their 20-something daughter. It was like, 20 years ago we announced the birth of our son. Oopsie daisy, turns out we were wrong and she has informed us, we actually have a daughter. So here we go again. Why does original poster get a pass for taking it upon himself to announce this on Facebook without even talking to his wife first? The adult thing to do would have been to, talk to her and explain that he didn't think it was worth such a huge monetary investment, maybe even brainstorm some cheaper cute ways to announce it. I would be furious if my husband just slapped something like this up on Facebook knowing that it was important to me. Why didn't they discuss waiting to make the film until they found out the gender? Sounds like they need to work on their communication. They both do for sure, but my question is why they voted not the butthole when original poster clearly has fault here. I agree. Op is not a butthole for not wanting to make a second video, but he is a butthole for just announcing it. Everyone sucks here. And it's the second kid, so maybe the last. They don't have to do the same huge thing as before, but original poster has to speak up instead of being passive-aggressive and claiming a major moment for them. You can think sex reveals are stupid. That's fine. Others may not. It doesn't mean you won't be understanding of your child choosing to identify differently. But it's still a major moment for a lot of people, You don't just yank it away because you couldn't be an adult and have a conversation. Because he saved everyone around them from having to sit through that video just to be polite. Absolutely this. Like anyone wants to sit through a 10-minute homemade greeting card of a short film. I bet money the relatives were like, oh crap, thank God we don't have to watch Barbara's boring ass videos again and pretend to smile. He could have accomplished that and also talked to his wife first. Imagine that. I know, it's a super hard concept for this sub to understand. Just because people agree with you doesn't mean you get to be passive-aggressive and not communicate. Dude is a hero for that. Still, he could have asked her or suggested something else before just unilaterally going on Facebook. Yeah, this is a case where I don't disagree with original poster that gender reveals are dumb and not worth the effort and money of making a short film about. But, this was a butthole move going behind your spouse's back like that. ESH. You think spending $4K on a gender reveal wasn't a total waste of money? Also, she got to choose how it was going to be done last time, so I would say it was his turn this time and this is what he chose. You think spending $4K on a gender reveal wasn't a total waste of money? Of course it was. Where did I say it wasn't? Also, she got to choose how it was going to be done last time, so I would say it was his turn this time and this is what he chose. Neither one of them should be making this decision unilaterally, nor she didn't. Original poster says he chose to go along with the video, meaning they discussed it beforehand and he gave his consent. If he thought it was a bad idea, he should have said so. He didn't even bother to ask his wife what she thought about his preference to just put it on Facebook. You don't get to make those decisions by yourself once you get married. Of course, spending $4K on a gender reveal is ridiculous, but that's not the point. They should have communicated better beforehand. Why, you ask? Because gender reveals are stupid. That's your opinion, which you're fully entitled to, but not everyone agrees. If they're important to his wife, he needs to respect that. And regardless of whether or not he thinks it's stupid, he doesn't get to unilaterally decide to announce their baby's gender on Facebook without discussing it with her. I agree with you on gender reveals being ridiculous, and that being way too much money to waste on one, but you don't just kneecap something your partner is this excited about without talking to them first. They both need to work on their communication. Even worse, it's £4,000, so $5,389 for Americans. Additionally, people in UK earn much less than in US. Oh, also, we don't have a tradition of gender reveal parties in the UK. Very few people do it, and it is agreed by the most that it is just tacky, as in it is tacky to have a gender reveal party if you are British and living in the UK, not if you are an American. That's normal. Oh, it's still tacky in the US, it's just that the kind of people that have gender reveals don't care. Originally, it was invented by a woman who'd had a lot of miscarriages before they reached the stage where you could tell the gender, so it was mostly a celebration that the odds of that pregnancy going to full term were very high. Now it's lost most of its original context, though, and is just an excuse for people to show off their wealth and cause natural disasters. She may be the butthole for doing it, but why didn't original poster insist on compromise? Just takes the moment away entirely? While I agree wholeheartedly with you on that and think wifey is an ass for creating so much extra work for original poster, I went with everyone sucks here because original poster should have reached a compromise with mom-to-be, since this is not just something that affects him. I mean, fundamentally, gender reveals aren't about gender, they're about revealing what genitals a kid has, which is effing weird. Spend the $4,000 on starting a college fund for the kid. Everyone sucks here. $4,000 could have gone into a saving account for the kid's future. Instead, she wants to make a video announcing what genitals the baby has. That's ridiculous, but communicating is kind of super important in relationships. Agreed. They should have talked about this and compromised. Instead, original poster did what he wanted and disregarded his wife's feelings. Obviously, the gender reveal is important to her, but £4,000 is a lot. Everyone sucks here. Edit, corrected currency. $4,000 might be a lot, but £4,000 is significantly more. Whoa. Thanks for point that out. Added an extra nearly $900. Edit, someone pointed out it's more and I realized I did euro. Oops, pay closer attention folks. They barely look similar lol. It's actually about $5,400, so an extra 1.4K. Oof. $4,000 could have gone into a saving account for the kid's future. You could say that about literally everything that isn't required to keep the child alive though. Mom gets a kick out of it, that is enough justification. If original poster has issues with how they are spending their joint finances, he needs to sit down and talk to her about it like a big boy. In my opinion. Yeah, this should be at the top. I agree there were better things to spend their money on, but it sounds like he didn't even run this past his wife or attempt to talk to her about it. This is definitely the right answer. Spoiling the surprise was a petty and immature way to deal with the wife's expensive idea. Which I agree is ridiculous. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to be the first to know about Red Rabbit Reader's new videos. If you like our videos, please like them on YouTube and share them with your friends. We welcome your comments below. Press to start another of our videos.